Hello and welcome to my channel. Nnamdi Kanu has been jailed, but Nigeria's bigger crisis begins, and that is it. Today, Nigeria stands at a turning point. Kanu's long legal battle has ended, but a far bigger political and security crisis may just be loading. Listen carefully, listen carefully. And for you to understand what might come next, we must go back to the roots. Quickly, let's get into the classroom so we can be able to understand the problem from the root. Here are the root causes of the problem. 1. Historical grievances. These are unsettled historical grievances. For government to be able to understand how to solve this problem, you have to look at the root of it. Presently, we have the political marginalization. These are what we are going to discuss. Then, structural imbalance in Nigeria. Exclusion. Injustice feeling. That is part of the exclusion. And the rise of Biafra agitation. A government that does not understand this cannot be able to solve it. Or perhaps the government understands this, but deliberately wants the problem to continue. Now, when we talk about structural imbalance, the Northwest has, for example, 7 states. The Northeast has 6 states. The North Central, 6 states. The Southwest, 6 states. South, 6 states. Southeast has 5 states. Why? These are part of when we say structural imbalance. Now let's get to another. Let's look at the timeline from the Civil War in 1967 to the sentencing of Nnamdi Kanu. In 1967 to 1970 was the Nigeria-Biafra War. 1970 to 1999, there was a kind of silence. Meanwhile, things were going on, no reconciliation. Then 1999 was the rise of Masob, Wazurike, came into play. The Biafra movement started again. Around 2010, people like BZF emerges, Biafra Zionist movement, headed by Benjamin Onwoka. Then around 2013 to 2015, IPOB rises Nnamdi Kanu. 2021, that was his second arrest, not the first one. He was arrested first in 2017 or thereabout. But somehow, he was freed, or he managed to be free. Then, back in 2021, he was kidnapped. That was what brought the sit-at-home. The sit-at-home that is almost crippling the Southeast region. But we used to have sit-at-home in the Southeast. It is not as tough as this. In fact, it is called the Ofe Nsala Day. A lot of people agreed with this sit-at-home. But the present sit-at-home, the Monday sit-at-home, it's not funny. Then, still in 2021 to 2025, there were a lot of deaths in the Southeast. A lot of people are blamed. Some blamed Biafra agitators, some blamed Ebubago, and the rest of them. Some said some people are bent on making sure Southeast is on calm. There were several stories. These people blame the other people blame the other people. But you realize that there is an escalation after sit-at-home. So much deaths. Then in 2025, court jailed Nnamdi Kanu. Life sentence. Let's get into the teaching properly. The Biafra agitation did not start today or even with Kanu. It began with historical wounds, decades of political marginalization, structural imbalance, and the deep feeling of exclusion after the Civil War. Now, in the Nigerian structure, the Southeast has only 5 states. Every other major zone has 6 or more. This means fewer senators, fewer reps, fewer federal resources, and a weaker political voice for millions of Igbo people. Our states are actually small, but we might be the highest in terms of population. But these are the minor issues. There are several issues that this length of video might not permit us to finish. Now, from the Civil War of 1967 in 1999, from Masob to the Biafra Zionist movement front in 2010, to IPOB rise in 2012, 2013, 2014, 15, IPOB rise, or 2013, 14, 15, yeah. History shows one thing, clearly. The Biafra idea has survived every administration that comes up in Nigeria. It has survived every crackdown and every arrest. So it is not something that, okay, quench that fire and it's gone. Before Kanu's arrest, the movement had one central voice. Leaders, elders, even governors could speak to him directly. But once the voice was removed, that is Kanu. Once Nnamdi Kanu was held, what happened? There was a split in the movement. The movement splintered. Okay, some people will say hardliners or whatever you choose to call them. They took over. People with various motives, I don't want to say their motives are evil, people, they got involved. And that is what is going to happen. I'm trying to let you know what it seems like. It is an ideology. It is not about a person. If Nnamdi Kanu is silenced, do you think that is the end of the struggle? We are telling you based on what, having seen precedents. So the agitation could be hijacked. And we don't know. You could say Nnamdi Kanu is tough. He has been spreading tough rhetorics. You don't know who is coming. What I'm telling you is about how can we solve this rather than imprisoning Nnamdi Kanu, imprisoning him might not save the situation. There is a painful truth that history teaches us. When a leader is punished, the movement often grows stronger. We saw it with Ken Saro-Wiwa. We saw it with Boko Haram's founder, Mohammed Yusuf. If anything happens to Kanu, it might even be tougher. If it's a case of, if he becomes a martyr, it might ignite agitation instead of ending it. So what are people saying? Today, the Southeast faces its worst insecurity in decades. You heard of the sit-at-home, how violent it has gone in parts of Southeast. The rise of militias. In Anambra, you heard of kidnapping, extortion, and the rest of them. In Abia and Ebonyi, rising criminal networks hiding under different names. Enugu is not safe. No part of Southeast is safe. You think putting Nnamdi Kanu in custody? I'm trying to proffer a solution that you normally hear people tell you it is an ideology. That means if it's an ideology, it lives. Even if you kill the founder or somebody who is holding the baton at the point in time, it continues. So it seems Kanu's life sentence may remove the last person who could calm the extremists or who could calm, put things. Kanu might be softer. We don't know. If a struggle has no central leader as it has been within Nnamdi Kanu, factions could multiply. And when factions multiply, violence increases. This verdict, you see, may escalate the crisis, not calm it. So, is Nigeria really looking for a solution on the Biafra struggle? There was a time Nnamdi Kanu was arrested. And he was asked, what do you want so that you end the struggle? He gave Nigeria conditions, certain things to fix. Nigeria should rather fix those things than waiting for him to continue protest and imprison him. So I'm trying to proffer the way forward. I'm trying to tell you, arresting the leader of a struggle does not end the struggle. This is the way forward. 3 things. First, honest political dialogue with Southeast leaders. Second, a development plan that creates jobs and reduces insecurity. A lot of parts of Enugu that was destroyed during the war, many of these places remain like that. And third, a national healing process that finally addresses the trauma of the Civil War. Let me tell you, they came with an idea, the 3 R's, a kind of an attempt to reconcile Biafra after the war. But the 3 R was suspicious. Reconciliation, whatever. We had several of Nigeria's companies were shared. What is the compensation for people who lost? £20 if you have the money in the account. There are rumors. I had some rumors recently that even officers who gave the Nigerian military tough times were later hounded. They are being trailed. So it wasn't a true reconciliation, and that is why it keeps reverberating. Things were not properly settled. Even though they claimed, it was a no victor, no vanquish, that does not solve anything. There are practical ways it would have been solved. Up till now in Nigeria, the Igbo people feel marginalized. And only a redress can solve it. You could think you're silencing Nnamdi Kanu. You don't know the future, how it seems. There is no way you continue to oppress a people, reminding them of old pains, not allowing the old wounds to heal. There's no way you continue to do that and they will not react. They are humans. So understand that the Biafra idea is bigger than one man. It's bigger than Nnamdi Kanu, the idea of Biafra. And until the root issues are addressed, the agitation will not disappear. And part of the reason, let me even tell you something that you need to know. We were wrongly merged in this country. Perhaps part of the reason, part of the solution is ask everybody to go their separate ways peacefully. We were wrongly merged. So the problem is at the foundation. Meanwhile, this is just for the government to rethink. Viewers, for more detailed analysis and truth-based commentary, please subscribe to Igbo Area TV, like, share, because knowledge is power. Please note that this video is for educational and analysis purposes only. It does not promote violence or support any separatist activities. But this is like an advice to the government. Suppressing the leader of an agitation does not stop the agitation. It can even add fuel to the agitation, unless the problem that brought about the agitation is redressed.